The Republicans are desperately trying to do cleanup and distraction, both from the Alexander Smirnov being arrested and Trump and his getting booed over shoes and all that shit, right? Okay. Can we do a Wayback Machine again? I don't know if this is, I don't know if we're related to this or not, but ladies and gentlemen, hold on. I don't even remember the fucking does anybody remember the Growing Pains fucking theme song? Like, I get silver spoons caught in my head when I even think about it because I didn't really watch it, so it wasn't my thing or whatever. But this is Kirk Cameron from WatchBrave.com. I guess he's trying to get everybody to get behind one of the Disney films, the one about Merda and Scotland and the bear and all that, and the one with Billy Connolly as her father and the long hair and the girl who does archery, and he's just trying to get that. Yeah, 700,000 trucks. Oh, we'll deal with the 700,000 trucks in just a minute as well. But he goes. Kirk Cameron explains why the church and family are the foundations that Marxists want to destroy. Okay. You do realize you're doing more damage than they could ever do, right? Okay. Let's find out.
So I guess the theory of the case is you're saying that Mao Zedong, from the French Revolution to the Bolsheviks to Mao Zedong to the modern neo-Marxists, they've always focused on the family and on getting to the children.
Yeah, you got to take out the family and the church, and what we see in our day is.
Well, I mean, the Russians had their own Orthodox church. They established a religion, which we don't do in the United States, and that's where you taking out the church. Everybody who isn't the state church felt like they were being taken out by those organizations. As far as Mao Zedong, he was embarrassed of Chinese culture and was chasing Soviet clout. So, and yeah, none of the churches are in danger. Here's the problem. Here's your problem, Kirk, if I may. It's not that the church has been removed from schools. It doesn't mean God has been taken from the classroom. None of that is true. What has happened is assholes like you have taken over the churches, have muscled your way in, made them little political fiefdoms in an attempt to push conservative ideology, even when it doesn't line up with whatever religion you actually espouse. And in doing so, you have driven normal people away from the churches because you're fucking annoying and gross and mean-spirited and judgmental and sick and all that shit.
We talk about pluralism and we talk about democracy. Our founders were not about democracy.
They were. I mean, it's a constitutional republic, but we choose our leaders through democracy.
Pure democracy is mob rule.
All right, fuck off. No, it isn't. Mob rule is not. Look, you can't use A-B logic like this. I'm sick of this shit. This is like these taxation is theft fuckers. Oh, yeah? All right, well, then if you don't pay your taxes, then driving on roads you didn't help pay for is stealing from everybody else. The fuck out. I don't understand. But if democracy is mob rule, then mob rule is democracy. So if a mob just does something, why don't we just put up with it in the United States? Why don't we just let it fucking happen? If mob rule is democracy, then why did we see January 6th as an attack on democracy, you dumb motherfucker? They were a mob. They were trying to rule. So stupid.
They were about a constitutional republic.
Yes, that chooses leaders through democracy. One man, one vote.
And there was a set of values that they understood would...
Yes. Two of them, primarily, the First and Second Amendment, distinctly, and the First Amendment itself was a fuck you to the first two commandments. And don't get me started on the Second Amendment and thou shalt not kill.
Undermine people's ability for self-government. We've got to be able to get back to this and understand what our country is really all about.
I see. So what it is the electoral college is how we choose our leaders, and self-governance is just your own personal sovereign citizen that you're wrestling with all the time. That's really what they were talking about. Was the Constitution isn't really about establishing the right to vote or how the votes are counted or any of that kind of shit. It's really just kind of like a knockoff Tony Robbins, power of positive thinking document.
And if you can take out the family, then you've got access to the kids. So
Most of the time, families are how kids are made in the first place. I mean, if you take out all the families, you're going to, you know what I mean? It's kind of uprooting the whole tree, and therefore you're going to run out of apples. You know what I'm saying? Also, why would Democrats want to get rid of the family? There are little factories to create babies for us to drink spine juice out of them with a straw.
Take out God, take out the family.
You can't take out God. You can't actually do it. If God exists, you can't. You fucking can't. Again, this goes into that weird trap of maybe this is God's plan and you just don't fucking like it. Right.
And what they really want to do is not just eliminate them.
Mm-hmm. We don't want to. All right. First of all, imagine someone going, I will eliminate God. And obviously, they're talking about the belief in God. If you don't believe in God, then you think the belief in it is false or fraudulent or an excuse or whatever the fuck. And so you can eliminate the belief. But you can't, none of them are going, you'd have to believe in God to believe that you're going to be able to get rid of God. And then you'd have to be the biggest ego fucking maniacal psychopath in the world.
And have a purely secular society. They want to replace them. So you usurp.
You replace God with Planet Fitness. I think pretty much Planet Fitness and malls. Malls, yeah. Baal, mall, God. They're all kind of one word.
The power of parents, and that's what we're seeing with the government now and in schools and gender transformations and all this stuff without parental
transformations. Really? What do the kids do? They go into a fucking cocoon.
Consent, and
then spring happens and their wings come out.
And then you replace the ultimate authority in their life, which is no longer God, but...
I got to tell you, brother, real quick, before you go on, that it's like 4 veins on your neck that are just in talking are straining like, holy shit. I got to say, I would just go... I don't know if you believe in doctors. I don't know what the fuck that part of it. Did he say God butt? Gender
transformations and all this stuff without parental consent, and then you replace the ultimate authority in their life, which is.
See what I mean? Is it just me, or is the neck fucking? I at this point I think this is an alien wearing Kirk Cameron's skin.
Is no longer God butt.
God butt, yes. Well, if you can't worship God butt, or as I think in the original Aramaic, I think it was Al Pacino who said it back, "Oh, fellas!" Right? You know, he was like one of the high priests of God butt.
Civil government. Government is a tool that should be a servant to bring about good blessings for people.
Good blessings. Yeah, the blessings. And today, we bless the people of Cincinnati with a bridge that will not fall into the water in what the Lord would wish upon. And the Lord did bless them with Social Security benefits that will allow them in certain circumstances to pay forward into a college or non-college vocational degree in some sort of... Lord, send down your blessing of a tax break upon them so that they may use this money in their wisdom to make their own fucking roads. Lord.
Not the tyrant God that enslaves people.
Huh? You mean because slavery's okay in the Bible, or it's approved of?
How long did you work in the television industry in Hollywood until it dawned on you one day that, hey, maybe this is not my home?
Yeah. Well,
it was my 3rd audition after I did my series where people were like, you kind of suck. I don't know what we're supposed to do with you now. But thanks for coming in.
Because that kind of talk right there. Look, Rob Reiner, and people say he's look, and I realize the audience is going to melt down, but people that know him say he's a decent guy and clear.
Mm-hmm. He is clearly a decent guy. Yes, absolutely.
Clearly,
He very well may be. I've never met him, and
but he is worked up.
Really? You never got called in on one of his big projects? Princess Bride, you didn't get a chance to read? Maybe that's when he realized, when you didn't get a chance to read for Vicente in that.
I mean, he's triggered by this whole Christian nationalist.
Never get involved with the Cameron when death is on the line.
He's dedicated his life. He's doing a great podcast on the Kennedy assassination, but he's dedicated his life, this film, to coming after Christian nationalism. And what you're saying is the kind of thing that would trigger him. So how long did you work actually in the system, in Hollywood?
The system. Hey, I got news for you, asshole. There is no system. There's no system. Hollywood is not a thing. Hollywood is the name of a part of Los Angeles. There's a sign on the fucking hillside, but there are a myriad of production houses making movies, jockeying for screen space or stream space now, and that have been fighting against each other to bully each other out of the stars that people want to see back and forth, like any fucking industry. There's no cabal. There's no fucking secret meeting. And I know what most of you say. Hal, that's how we know you're not an A-lister, because you didn't get invited to the big baby eating things. And I'm like, well then, fine. Oh, that's right. I am a year older than Kirk Cameron. I am? Really? He's 53. Whew, okay.
Hollywood and TV. Before it dawned upon you, your great awakening that, hey, maybe this is not my path.
Well, I was watching some of my own work, and I realized maybe I'm not cut out for acting. Sorry. He was watching the dailies for Left Behind 2 Tribulation Force, and he was like, fuck. I don't know, maybe I can work at a yogurt store or some shit like that. I don't know, a real job or whatever, a farm. Is that what? And now what actors that suck do after they leave, they go get a farm and some animals and make people believe that they're just going back. I mean, look at that. That's just fucking, I don't even know. This is worse than the fucking banana video. I don't know. This is horrifying.
Yeah.
And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Hal, what banana video? Dare we, CSL? Dare we? All right.
Well, I never wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be like Ben Carson, and this thing sort of, I slipped.
Slow? Sorry. You wanted to be a doctor? You didn't want to be a doctor. You wanted to play doctor with a banana.
And I've since learned that when you really look at the evidence, the truth is it takes more faith to be an atheist than it does to believe in God. You've really got...
Yeah. I mean, you know, while we've been sitting here on stools for some fucking reason, like someone stole our lakeside bar, when we could have just been sitting on regular chairs and maybe brought the camera down a touch to get the same basic skyline. I don't even know why I'm complaining about this. Someone stole our table.
Got to ignore the facts.
Yeah, you got to ignore the facts. And the facts are, bananas are your friend.
Funny how we equate the word atheism with intellectual.
Yeah, it's so weird that we do that. It's the same thing, you know, you hear all the time.
Exact opposite. That's right.
It is the exact opposite. They don't even think. Atheists don't think. You think of intellectualism. They can't. They don't even use Intel processors.
Look, I have an intellectually stimulating theory. It's my theory of where the soda can may have come from.
It evolved from cupping your hands together and then eventually using clay and then putting something together and making metal steins. And then they had metal steins that were a lid, and then they came across an idea where you could seal a beverage in something, cork it shut, and it would stay longer. And then they tried to find ways to process those things, and originally started with tin, and they realized that the mercury and the sealant around the top of it was unhealthy, so they moved to aluminum, and then that was a clean way of getting the beverage. And then they initially had a tab that pulled off, and people had a tendency to take the tab and put it inside, and they would drink, and then they would choke on the fucking thing, so they made a pull tab that just is automatic. And basically it evolved from from cupping your hands in water. Doc in Paradise has never seen the banana video. Oh, Doc in Paradise, come along. Come along. Join us, won't you? Share the show. There you go.
Billions of years ago, there was a big bang in space. Nobody knows what caused the big bang. It just...
Well, it was obviously a hand job. Because it was a big bang, but it was right out the gate. It was first date stuff, so it wasn't obviously going to be a... Never mind.
Happened. And from this bang issued this huge rock on top of...
Say Big Bang again.
The rock was found a sweet, brown, bubbly substance.
Ew.
And over millions of years, aluminum crept up the side, formed itself in a can, then a lid, and then a tab. And then millions of years later, red paint...
You're so good. This is so... I get where you're going. I mean, I see where this is going. I mean, it's a little... It telegraphs. It telegraphs, but I get where you... This would be a lot easier to sit if we had a table or a stool or something. We were just on the ground. Because it's a little weird. I don't even know what to do with my left knee. It's just awkward.
Blue paint, white paint fell from the sky and formed itself into the words, 12 fluid ounces. Do not litter. You're saying, what are you doing? You're insulting my intellect. And
no, you're not. No, you're not. Real quick. Let's be abundantly clear. You are not insulting my intellect. You are insulting your own. You are being both. It's amazing because you're being dumb and a manipulative prick at the same time.
So I am. Because we know if the can is made, there must be a maker. If it's designed, there must be a designer. To believe the soda can
well, it kind of evolved, over time.
Happened by chance is to move into an intellectual free zone. It's to have an echo when you think. It's to have brain liposuction. Hold this, Kirk.
Oh, dear. Hold this, Kirk. You're lucky you said that about the can and not the banana. Ladies and gentlemen, here it comes for your viewing enjoyment. One of the dumbest analogies ever presented on what's left of God's green earth.
Behold, the atheist's nightmare. Now, if you study a well-made banana, you'll find them.
Oh, I do. Believe me. Every time I shower. Listen, real quick, before we start this, you do realize bananas didn't start out this way. Bananas were potato-like. They were brown. They were squat. They tasted kind of flat. They weren't sweet at all. Just saying, this isn't how God intended the banana to be. I'm just telling you. Right.
The far side.
Oh, somebody actually say, I'll bite what's the banana video. You're finding out the hard way, aren't you? Here we go.
There are 3 ridges. On the close side, 2 ridges. If you get your hand ready to grip a banana, you'll...
It's always, and when is it not? This is never not going to be fun, CSL. This is never going to, every time I see this, it's like I'm seeing it for the first time.
Find on the far side, there are 3 grooves. On the close side, 2 grooves.
Yeah, I got a groovy banana holding hand. I got it, yeah.
The banana and the hand are perfectly made one for the other.
Have Kirk look at your asshole. Sorry. You'll notice, Kirk, that this banana perfectly fits in your backside. It's perfectly lubricated thanks to spit the Lord has given me.
You'll find the maker of the banana, Almighty God, has made it with...
Well, Del Monte.
...a non-slip surface.
Well, it depends. I mean, again, he also made, petroleum products in his vast wisdom.
It has outward indicators of inward contents. Green,
Boy, does it.
Too early. Yellow, just right. Black, too late.
Yeah, black. Sorry, black people. Too late. What's Ray Comfort trying to say right now? He's uncomfortable. Black people show up at the party and he's like, too late. We got to go. Pack it up. Honey, get the car. Nah, I'm not going to do this. Nah, black people, black fellas all around the place. I got to get out of here. Nice. I don't care. I don't care. No, I don't know. I know who Rachel Dolezal is. I don't even want to see her. No, I mean, yeah, too late.
Now, if you go to the top of the banana, you'll
Why bother?
find, as with the soda can makers, they placed a tab at the top. So God has placed a tab at the top. When you pull the tab, the contents don't squirt in your face.
Well, I mean, maybe you should caress it first or something. You just can't just yank on the goddamn thing. I mean, try a little tenderness, as the man says. Also, by the way, bananas open from the other end. I'm just saying the best way to open the banana is actually from the other end. You'll find the contents don't squirt in your face. Kirk.
You'll find the wrapper, which is biodegradable, has perforations.
But also will make the evil slip and fall.
Notice how gracefully it sits over the human hand.
The next part might be a little difficult for some of our viewers. If you're sensitive, it might be a good time to turn away. Maybe bury your head in a couch cushion or go take a dump, because this is not going to be good. Here it comes. This is, yeah, he's going to show you how to eat it. And then all you're going to think about is the contents don't squirt in your face.
Notice it has a point at the top for ease of
Oh, yeah.
entry. It's just the right shape for the human mouth.
Notice he didn't do that for long. Can I just tell you that even Ray Comfort knew he was setting himself up for the internet is forever. So he goes like, even this way, no, you're not freeze framing me, you fucking evil bastards.
Notice it has a point at the top for ease of entry. It's just the right shape for the human mouth. It's chewy, easy to digest, and it's even curved toward the face to make the whole process so much easier.
Yeah, because God knew that man was basically lazy. Rod, don't get too excited, man.
Seriously, Kirk, the whole of
Seriously, hold my banana.
creation testifies to the genius of God's creative hand.
Oh yeah. Here, try these bananas.
Absolutely does. You think of the human eye.
Think of the human eye. Like if you squirt into the eye, you know what? Let's not get into anybody's Pornhub search results too heavily here. Those of you who in the chat room is that's your first introduction to the banana video. It's been a rough couple of bananas, by the way. This is filth, right? Exactly. It's been a rough bunch of bananas for Kirk over the years. But now, years later, he's sitting next to someone only slightly less disgusting than Ray Comfort, Steve Bannon.
It has 40,000 nerve endings, and
Yeah, I can't show you what he's actually showing Steve at this point. Praise the Lord and pass
into
the
it,
bananas.
got on growing pains, and by the time I was 20, I had this great big career, and I got married. After that,
After I got married, I don't know, everything just went to shit. She's just bitching all the time, and I'm like, when's your next job? And I'm like, maybe I don't want to be on another series. Maybe I'm a serious actor. And she's laughing at me on the phone. I walk in, she's laughing at me on the phone, and she's like, her fucking. Then I find out she's cheating on me with somebody, and the fucking ringtone is the Growing Pains theme, and I'm like, Alan Thicke.
I wanted to just be about right things and good things. And whether it was in acting or not, it didn't really matter to me.
Yeah, well. And that lasted about 8 months, and then you started doing the Left Behind movies.
So I started becoming a student of history and
Jesus.
understanding how principles work out in
How does that? Chat, you guys don't know, do you? I have no idea. How do principles work out? I think they go to the gym after school. I think. Sorry.
In real life, through education and family and civil government and things like that.
Stuff.
And let me just say, with regard to Rob Reiner and anybody else who's really triggered over some of these labels that people are putting on others, many people have just been duped by other people's description of their own opponents, and they make them look like they're these freaky, weird. I mean, this is the news.
Hey, asshole! Look who you're on the War Room talking to Steve Bannon, one of the architects of January 6th. You fucking chimp.
All the time, right? You make your opponents look like complete crazy people who...
Really? Not you, Steve, obviously. I'm speaking in the euphemistic you. You. And by you, I mean them. Them talking about us. I don't mean you. You, obviously. When I say you, I mean Rob Reiner.
Don't know what they're talking about. And
I know how bananas were modified by human cultivation. I do know that. Which is not how God wanted it. Or was it?
you get everybody to worry about them. And so he may be legitimately concerned about this.
Joe Scarborough this morning referred to MAGA as freaks, weirdos, insurrectionists, and a death cult. You mean something like that?
I mean, something like that. And so there may be people who are legitimately afraid of that which they don't understand.
Oh, is that, you mean like how you feel about people that read or?
And it's so hard to have respectful discourse with people today.
It is. It is. You know why? Because fuck you. Sorry, I'm just kidding. It's fine. I am capable of having respectful discourse with anybody, really. Well, I mean, now almost anybody. I mean, there's obviously some folks that have crossed the line. If I'd have stumbled upon, Bundy at one of his low moments, it would have been cinder block time, and I think you guys understand that.
Because everybody's looking for a soundbite.
You think Rob Reiner and the guys in Hollywood don't understand it, or
the guys in Hollywood? The guys, and he means, of course, Jews.
They think they understand it thoroughly and they fear it.
I think they
are Jews. I think they're all Jews. Is what I'm trying to say, Steve. And what I think you're trying to say is, is something about is basically Jew to Jew to Jew to Jew Jew Jew. That's what I'm trying. Is that landing?
I don't think they're smart folks. I don't think they lacked.
Well, yeah, Ashkenazis. Yeah, I mean, technically speaking, is that what you're talking about? By the way, this is what he's talking about.
Understanding of what this movement is.
Yeah.
No, they understand. And again, are you what you say you're about, or are you what you do? Right? I mean, there's a crisscross there. There's some people you might think. Here's a great example, Steve, friend of yours. Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein put out a lot of women-forward movies. He was, in many ways, one of the producers in town that a female, like an actress with a star vehicle, could take it to the Weinstein brothers, and they could get it done, and it would tell a great story about a woman who did a great thing or a great character that had strength and resilience and all this stuff. The problem is, he fucking tried to have sex with you and make you bend over a desk to get your movie done because he was a fucking scumbag. Meanwhile, the lovely people like Rob Reiner does movies that you think are terrible because he's, I guess he's making something that you get offended by or he doesn't like your group. But the movies he makes in general, if you watch them, make people laugh, have a great a generalized good humor about them, and have, I think, a generalized happy, positive moral to the story overall. It doesn't celebrate anti-heroes and stuff like that. There's no sort of Rob Reiner version of Breaking Bad that I know of. Yeah. I'm sorry, Treva, if I messed up while you were painting.
But what I'm saying is that there are moles planted within the good groups that are then used to distract everybody and represent the good group.
Are they better than the good group, or are they worse than the good? Oh, I see. You're just a lunatic. Sorry, my mistake. FBI Jan 6 something.
And it's a bogus group. There's freaks and psychos out there for sure, but they don't
Thanks. I feel seen.
represent me and my ilk. I mean, I'm all about. I'm hanging with Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, and William Wilberforce and William Bradford. I mean,
And Willem Dafoe.
and I know millions of other people who are too.
Pretty good.
No, you're not hanging with them. You're not hanging with them. They have been dead a long time. You're a fucking moron. That's silly. Can you all right, chat room. Can you imagine yourself saying, "Hey, I'm the kind of person. I'm hanging with MLK. I'm hanging with John F. Kennedy. I'm hanging with President Garfield, not the president of the United States. I mean the episode of Garfield where he was president.
Company.
Yeah, I want to be with them. I want to learn from them.
They've been dead a long time. They're dead. You're a crazy person.
What would you say if Rob Reiner was here right now? What would you say to him?
Oh,
Hire me. Really, just anything. I'd be glad to just, I'd even, do you do paid extras or whatever? Like I wouldn't mind being like an upgraded extra where like just an under 5, I would be fine or whatever. Just, I love your work and please hire me.
first of all,
He's a Jew and there's no saving those people, obviously.
I
mean, it is the one area where I, Kirk Cameron, agree with Rashida Tlaib. We have a common enemy in these people, right, Steve? Mr. Seinfeld money.
thank you for his work, and then also just talk about maybe just on a personal human level, like what's important to me.
Oh, you would bore him. It's a great strategy.
And I bet we'd have a lot in common in terms of
In terms of beard care,
what's important to us. The question then becomes, how do we get there? What are really the right?
where is he? Question, Steve, I have is, how do I get to talk to Rob Reiner? Do you have his number? Would it be okay if I just called him up directly, or should I just drive by his house? Do you have his address?
Strategies and values that will actually achieve those goals. And then I think we can have a real conversation, and I bet we could hang out,
Okay.
have a beer and a steak together, and end up being friends.
You wish.
Such a great way to segue. I totally disagree. I think that you don't have the same end goals, and he knows that, and we know that. And this is not.
You have inside intel that I know not of.
No, not inside intel. I'm just saying for what they do. This is an unbridgeable gap. This is one side is going to win here, and one side is going to lose. We can't talk this out. This is not a conversation.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna side with the group that showers. Steve, I gotta say, if just for the lack of septicemia on the battlefield, I think you're gonna, the ability to wash might come in handy at some point. Needless to say, these people are fucking crazy. And I would say Kirk Cameron in that moment is trying to exemplify his own, like, stunted version of Christianity. Yeah? And it's adorable. But Steve isn't. Steve's a fucking, the whole purpose of Steve's show is to create enemies where there were none.